Okay, let's talk about air cooling systems and how they basically work. So air cooling systems, they are pretty much the simplest you can get. They use a bunch of fins to distribute heat into the atmosphere. Now on this Honda, we see that these fins right here. Now these fins will get hot, air will pass through them, and they'll transfer the heat into the air. And that's pretty much as simple as it gets. Now, this one uses a vehicle speed, and the air comes flying in here and passes through these fins. Now, on the block itself, it doesn't have any fins. It's just on the head, which is where most of the heat is created anyway. So that is as simple as it gets. Now, this lawnmower actually has a more complicated system of air cooling. This plastic cover will actually help keep chunks out from getting stuck in here. There's also a little bit more right here. That'll just help get like leaves or stuff from getting caught in there. But anyway, you got fins inside of here. It's really hard to see them, but you know, they're in there. Now, these fins will draw in air, okay, and then push it around. Now, on smaller, older Briggs & Stratton motors, there's actually a governor flap that works off from that. But this air will it'll be forced through the shroud, okay? And inside the shroud, I got more cooling fins all around the head. And it comes out here where you got these big cooling fins. And that's how that stays cool. It also comes out right here and helps keep the exhaust temperature down. Now on bigger lawn tractors like this one, with a 17 horsepower Post twin, air is drawn through these vents right here. And you got a plastic shroud to keep as much air being drawn to there instead of around the hot engine. And then it's forced in through here, where now you can definitely see the fins on the flywheel. Now these fins force a lot of air through the shroud. Now, again, there's a lot of cooling fins around the heads of the engine. You see the shroud goes all the way around this engine, out to the back. And then unlike the smaller lawnmower, it keeps going down through this shroud, then finally out the bottom, where some of these fins are exposed for even more cooling. Now, if you notice right here, it's blocked off because there's not much to cool. It's forcing as much air as it can around the heads of the engine, because that's where most of the heat is generated. And as you can even see, there's not even fins on the front of this engine at all. It's just all flat surface. And it even continues all the way down through here. And right here, that's part of the shroud. So it's keeping as much air being flown around through the engine heads to these cooling fins. Now back here, see if I can give you some light. If you look carefully, you can see some openings. Well, some air comes through there and hits the back of the engine. It's kind of important to keep that part cool because there is a gas tank right there. So that's sort of an important area you want to keep cool. Now, to maintain your air-cool system, every once in a while you want to take off the shroud and blow out all the junk that's caught in between the fins. Simple as that. Also inspect your fins for any broken ones or bent. Try to fix them. If you're missing one, just grab a piece of scrap metal and see if you can weld it in there. And that's pretty much just to repair. Now, the things you want to avoid doing with the air-cool systems is removing the shrouds. Keep them on. You'll actually get better cooling with them on, believe it or not. I've seen people try and take them off, think they're getting more cooling through it, and nope. Because, you know, this fan on the flywheel, it's blowing plenty of air. You can actually feel it come out when it's running. You'll be surprised. And it's warm air, you know. It's not really hot. And one of the last things you want to try avoiding, let's say you overheated your engine. So, you know, you're kind of in a rush. So what you do is you pour a bunch of cold water on your fins. Yeah, don't do that. That just makes the metal brittle. It ruins it. This Tecumseh Snowblower engine has the same method. You got fans in here, sucks in air, blows it out. It's pretty simple now. This one, you can see a lot of the corrosion happening. That's because a lot of cold snow hits this a lot, and it just, yeah, this ain't gonna last too long with that. It's a kind of bad design. They should have just kept the shroud going over. It's just not a good design. In fact, it looks like there's a chunk missing right there too. Or maybe not. Maybe it's just a molding piece. But yeah, it's not a great design. You can see it's, I mean, this is just like 2 or 3 years old now. But it's already getting bad. So, oh well.